What up? How's
Hey,
it going?
oh, good man. We had to talk about that Loki. This is
Yep.
so fair warning. This is a spoiler review slash breakdown slash. We got some stuff to talk about, like prediction, maybe theories, whatever you want. We got it. So spoilers, just to let you guys, if you haven't seen the episode, it is bonkers because there's a lot in this episode. But for whoopsies, I have a little background. There we go. Okay, let's get right into it. Albert, did you like the episode?
I loved it. The best episode of the series so far.
That's what a lot of people are saying. That is
Yeah.
definitely what a lot of people are saying.
Yep. A lot of people are saying this is the best episode of Marvel TV so far. I don't know about that, but definitely of the series.
Yeah, you have to like. I think somewhere in WandaVision,
Yep.
there was a really good episode in there.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. This was a great episode. This was a lot better to me, in my opinion, than episode 3. And I didn't really necessarily like episode 3 at all. Uh,
No.
it
This
still gives
episode kind of made it worse for you too, didn't it?
It did because it still gave me some. So it still gives me some problems with the character Loki. So in this episode, we see the biggest thing for me was that Loki was kind of a buffoon in the last episode, and I thought, okay, he's just acting that way to get Sylvie's trust. The little thing he had to energize was gonna, he's gonna pop it open and say, "Hey, look, I didn't break it. We're gonna get out of here." That wasn't the case. The
Hmm.
case was he really was stranded with Sylvie, or aka Lady Loki. They really were going to die until except a Nexus branches out.
That
Now
was a
how
mental spike.
Yes. Now how I interpret it was there's some lovey-dovey thing going on between Sylvie and Loki. So that's maybe why it branched out. There might be other possibilities. The I believe the creators or the writers said that there was going to be no romance in this series, but I'm getting a somewhat of romance between Loki and Sylvie, and I think Mobius later on in the episode kind of points that out.
Oh,
Like,
he points it out hard.
yeah, you would love yourself, like the audience, you would
Yeah.
love yourself. It's very weird. I guess it makes sense because how Loki is as a character. Albert, the one thing I didn't like though is like what I said the last breakdown was that this makes Loki not as witty, not as smart, I guess, not as 3 steps forward. He really did like get drunk. He really did break the damn thing. Like, what is your feelings about that?
All right, so I want to know how long they were on the train for him to get drunk because then they just walked back. So the like timeline doesn't really add up for me.
Yeah,
Um, and I really did think also that he was like either tricking her where the what's it called, the ten path
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
time path. Oh, like all right, maybe he didn't break it, or maybe he has an Infinity Stone, and then also like that when he does the little power thing when the tower's about to fall on him and it goes back. I was
Yeah.
like, there's something happening, right?
Well,
But
I said
no,
hypnosis. I said that he does have that power, but I guess it just times 10 on that one.
yeah, just yep, pretty big um power upgrade. I don't know. I need to rewatch his movies. I don't know if he's ever done something like that before, but like of that magnitude. But
Yeah,
yeah, it kind of sucks that he was just being dumb.
yeah.
Um, but oh well. I mean, it is Loki, but you can only use that excuse for so much, you know. Uh,
I just feel
he's
like
always
they
kind of joked about stuff, but that one, I feel like they went too far. Cause
I feel like they dropped the ball on that one. Like you could have.
yeah,
It was kind of an excuse just to get them captured again. You know,
mhm,
they get captured by the TVA again because they see this branch just like spiking right towards the red. This is an apocalyptic event that's happening, and they're not
yeah.
supposed to be there apparently. So
Well,
they grab them. So what Loki knows is Loki knows that the TVA members are all variants.
mhm,
Everybody's a variant. The timekeepers are lying to them. Ravana's lying to them. They're all variants. And Loki gets questioned by Mobius, and while Lady Loki's kind of just chilling and getting ready to either be questioned or be judged, right? I thought, okay, so the problems I had with last episode kind of creeps in this episode, but the episode moves along, and there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of shadiness that's going on. I
Mhm.
think we said that Ravana has absolutely something to do with a lot of the shadiness. She
Oh yeah.
knows she's the leader, if not the timekeepers,
Hmm.
and in the comics, she is like she works with Kang. There's so much hints of Kang in this episode, for sure. Once again, I do like. I really like Mobius. I really like Owen Wilson. I was happy that they were back together, paired in. Loki straight up telling him like this is the deal, right? He straight up tells him like you're a variant, and whether you believe me or not, that's up to you. Mobius has like kind of he kind of laughs it off, but he has a sneaky suspicion that this Loki's pretty right on this one. You also have the conversation with him and Ravana, closing the case. But I guess we got to dive into Lady Loki and little Lady Loki, the child Lady Loki in this episode. Now, if you guys haven't
Yep.
noticed, she was playing with toys. So we see Asgard, right? We see Asgard, her version of Asgard. They just use the computer effects from the last movies, that budget baby, and just puts it on here. She's playing with toys. She's playing with like a ship, and she's playing with Valkyrie, a little Valkyrie figurine. There is also that big ass wolf in Thor Ragnarok, is also a little figurine. I forgot what the name was for that wolf.
Fenrir.
Yeah, that Hela had. She that figurine is there too. It's like little figurines. So Ravana takes little Loki, gonna judge her. We don't know what the hell, like why she took her as a little kid. What's and later on when they have this other conversation, like Ravana kind of smirks and like I don't even remember why we took you. Like it's pretty crazy. But little child Loki gets out of there, and then she's kind of on the run this whole time. So what do you think about that? And do you have any theories of like why was she taken? What did she do to break the sacred timeline?
See, what I was thinking was like she probably picked up the wrong toy, and then that's why they went to get her. I was like, it's probably something dumb, right? But then later in the elevator scene, when she asked like, "What did I do that was so important?" and Miss Ravona says like that she forgot, right? But I don't think she really forgot. She's
She
just
had a
saying that.
smirk on her face, like she knew,
Yeah,
she
she
knows.
remembers, but
Yeah,
like she forgot. But I don't know if that's because she's like smirking because she remembers, or she's smirking because it wasn't anything big, while she's thinking it's like it was something huge.
I think it might be
Um,
big, Albert.
you think so?
I think it might be big. I think she is the. They took her because she was gonna look what's everything that's
Yeah,
happened
Valkyrie.
so far.
Hmm.
She's hooked up with Loki that we've been following. She's really screwed up. It was kind of crazy how fast they were able to like preserve the sacred timeline, but she screwed all that up.
Oh, that
She's
was crazy. I didn't like that. But
Yeah, I did
well,
not like that.
how they fixed it all off screen, whatever.
Oh yeah, like you said, we wanted to see like different, ego, like we want to
Yeah,
see the destruction and everything, and they just kind of like, nah, we got it together again. Um,
yeah.
she at the end of this episode, she revealed that these timekeepers are not real. Her path is like to destroy the TVA. So I think taking her as a kid is kind of like them saying like, well, we're gonna do something before all this happens. Maybe
Hmm.
that's just my thoughts on it.
Is she the actress that played her? Was that the daughter in The Walking Dead? Because that's what my mom said, and it kind of looked like her.
I
Uh,
don't know. I don't
you
know.
don't watch? You haven't watched the newer seasons, huh?
No, you're talking about Shane's daughter.
Yeah, Shane's daughter.
Yeah. It's not Beth. It's
Forgot her name.
Judith. Judith.
Yeah,
You're talking about
Jude.
Judith. Yeah. I mean, it might be her with black hair, which I found
Probably.
kind of funny because she had black hair, and then this Sylvie has blonde hair.
Oh yeah, it's because she's trying to differentiate herself from what
Yeah.
it means to be a Loki, right?
So that's the answer of why the hair color was so different. But it's kind of
Yep.
crazy because we get another Loki version that's completely different than the Loki that we got, and we'll get to that
Oh,
in a minute.
we'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get to
get
there.
there.
We'll get to there.
Yeah,
Um,
that was crazy. But dude, I was so sad when the episode started. Well, at first I got hyped because it showed Asgard, so I was like, oh, all
Yeah.
right, they're gonna show us what the bombing was, right? Because Asgard
Hmm.
was one of the places, and then it showed little Sylvie. And I messaged you that they released like a little clip that showed little Sylvie, so I already knew like right away who that was.
Yeah.
Um, but it was so sad to me how they just took her and like, dude, she was what, like 8, which probably in Asgard that's like 500, but still, she was like so young, and I was like, that's so sad. No wonder she said she doesn't remember her mom. Um,
Yeah.
and like they don't even like, bro, she's young. I don't. Again, she's older, even though she looks like 8, but
Yeah.
like I don't think she understood anything that was happening to her. Even when they walk her in, she's like, "Oh, go help that guy."
She
Like
didn't
he's
know. She
so
didn't know.
innocent.
Yeah, exactly. She had
Um,
no idea what was going on, and they show a guy getting arrested. I don't know who that was.
yeah,
I
some
looked,
random
and
dude looked like a werewolf. I don't know. Probably gonna be a blade.
well, we get mentions of that. So
Yeah,
Mobius,
yeah.
so Mobius talks, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we dealt with Titans, we dealt with Kree, we dealt with vampires, and who's a
That
fucking
was
vampire
good.
who's coming? Blade, baby,
Yeah,
uh,
blade.
Blade, and then even Morbius.
Uh,
Morbius is coming along, and if that's tied to the MCU, so we got some hints of some vampires, which I thought was pretty awesome.
yep. Also,
Uh,
want to know what Titans they brought in there.
I know, right? Like,
I
was
know
it
we all
another
know
version
Thanos was
of
a bad
Thanos?
Titan, right? Who knows?
And I pictured it. I pictured like Thanos going through the
Uh-huh.
TVA, and it's so funny. I was like, they can handle this guy.
Hmm.
They could totally handle this guy.
Hmm.
Ian Thomas, welcome in. Was the girl in the beginning actually Sylvie? Her hair was black, and Sylvie is not. We believe it is because she's on the run. She probably cut her hair, dyed it, whatever.
I
It would
mean,
it would be interesting if it wasn't that little girl, but in all points to her being the same person.
I don't even think she has to dye it. I think she can just change it.
Oh, that's right. She could just change it with her abilities.
Yeah.
So I guess we got
Maybe
to
by the
get
end she'll go back to black hair and she'll accept that she's a Loki.
yeah. So we get so we get the reason why Sylvie is causing most of this, and then we get the conversation with Ravana and Mobius. I
Hmm.
think because well, let's keep going. I guess so Mobius sends Loki to like a loop prison,
Oh, that
and
was fun.
that's
That
our
got me hyped.
cameo. That's one
Yep.
of our cameos that we get in, and our cameo is Sif herself, Jamie Alexander
Hmm.
from the Thor
Pretty sick.
movies. We haven't seen her. I guess you could say we haven't seen her from since Agents of Shield, but I think they're kind of
Yeah.
retconning Agents of Shield.
Uh-huh.
So I guess, and then she wasn't in Thor Ragnarok. I think they said that she did live. A lot of the other ones died.
Yeah.
I'm not big on Jamie Alexander, and I'm not big on Sif. I'll let you know right now. So, but that was a nice little cameo, kind of bringing back, the trickster Loki and that looping effect, and it's good to kind of see her come back. It's good that they're bringing a lot of the past characters, kind of like in some way or form. So I'm pretty sure you loved that, Albert. You loved that scene, didn't you?
At first I didn't know what was happening, so I was hyped. I thought she was coming to like help him, and then I realized, oh, this is like some genjutsu type of thing, right? That's what my brother said. Um, where he's just like trapped, having to relive this moment over and over. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, like Doctor Strange. But it was nice because I was like, I didn't watch all of Agents of Shield, so I never got to the part where she came out, or maybe I didn't. I just forgot.
Yeah.
But I was like, we haven't seen her in 8 years since
It's been a long
2013.
time, very
Hmm.
long time.
And like you said, I'm not a huge fan of her, like the character, because just in Thor 1 and Thor 2, she didn't do all that much.
I don't think
But
they.
I'm excited for her to come back. I believe in Thor Love and Thunder. I think she's going to come back.
I think she is. I think she's confirmed to coming back. I
think
don't.
so. And I
I
feel
think they
like they'll
dropped.
do her justice. I think
Yeah.
by the end of that movie, she's going to have a lot more fans. Because, dude, my brother didn't remember her. And I consider my brother to be like the average Marvel fan, So if he
Yeah.
doesn't remember her, I feel like a lot of people aren't going to remember her.
I mean, she's there. It's just they didn't really, yeah, like you said, give her too much to do in the Thor movies. She does a lot more in the comics and stuff. Actually, it makes sense for her to come as a cameo. It's a little nod because in the comics, you know how, there's a kid Loki, there's a lady Loki.
Yeah.
Loki actually goes into the body of Sif, and Sif becomes Loki. That happens in the comics. So there's a lot of things that were thrown to us in this episode that are in the comics. Now, will it go that route? There's gonna be changes. Like I said, with Sylvie and Lady Loki, Sylvie slash Lady Loki, that's a mixture of two characters, Enchanters and Loki. That's how they're doing it. So I think the storylines kind of like throw you for a loop, even though it's gonna have some elements in the comic. So we get that. All right. You get Mobius talking to Ravana. Mobius is just not as thrilled with the case because he has that, idea of being maybe with Loki and stuff. And then throughout the episode we have Lady Loki. We have, what's her name, B-15. I think it's
Yeah, the
B-15.
hunter.
Yeah, the hunter, B-15. She's kind of she saw something. She's not quite right. She's uneased. I like the fact that they used B-15 where she was just, one of those asshole characters. But when she sees something and she comes to realization, like, okay, something's up, she's smart, right? She's a realistic character where, like, she wants to know more of the truth. She saw something. They talk about C-20. That's what Mobius is kind of like wondering what the hell happened to C-20. She was fine. You're telling me she's dead. She's deceased. That's Ravana's telling him to drop it, basically. She just went crazy or whatever, and they had to eliminate her. Is C-20 really dead? That's
She
an
just got
interesting.
burned, right? Probably.
Yeah, it was confirmed she was deceased, but I'll get to that in a moment. So I do like how B-15, she takes Sylvie. She gets Sylvie. They go back to, what's it, Rock's cart. Now, I will say in this episode, the problem with this episode I had with it was the audio mixing. The audio mixing was not very good. I couldn't hear too much of the conversation. It was a weird mixing with the rain and the conversation they were having in that particular scene. And then I didn't like the timekeeper scene and
Yep.
trying to hear what the hell they were trying to say. I
I,
even didn't like some of the design work on those timekeepers, honestly.
you didn't like it?
One particular.
Well, the Lorax looking dude that people
Yeah,
are
the fucking mustache looking dude. I
yeah,
wasn't feeling that guy. I
but they
like the movement.
were not real, so
Yeah, but
it's not Marvel that did a bad job designing them. It's whoever created those robots in the universe that did a bad job designing
I
them.
guess we could say Kang for a minute, right?
I don't think
Um,
it's Kang, but we'll get there.
okay, so B-15, she says, "Show me, show me my,
Yeah,
pretty much my
love
past
that
life."
scene.
I love that they did not show you. They
Hmm.
just expressed it. The actress expressed it with her facial. You got the idea that she was having a happy kind of like seeing what she was. I like that. And then she said I was happy. I
Yep, I
like
look
that
happy,
decision.
and yeah,
That was a great decision. So they hatch a plan, pretty much. So Mobius goes back to Loki, or well, Mobius steals the what's it called? The time, the
the
little
Tempath.
the temp packs. I call it like a DS, the little
Yeah,
DS.
basically what it is, right?
Yeah, so he switches his and Ravana's, and then he like goes into her temp pass, and she sees that C-20 deceased, but he sees a video of them interrogating her and her saying it's real. Like we said, what did she mean when it's real? It's real. We find out that Loki was right. They're variants.
Yep,
So we get to see
that's real.
see Mobius take Loki. He has a plan, I guess, to escape. That plan gets awry because Ravana finds out quick. He took
Hmm.
it, and then we see the demise of Mobius. He gets stabbed with one of those sticks. Okay, so here's the question, Albert.
Yeah.
Is Mobius dead, or just like Loki later on in this episode, he's just taken somewhere else?
At first, I thought he died. At first, I was like, "Damn, they really killed him." Then, when Loki got pruned later in the episode, I was like, nah, that's not death then, because I don't think they'd kill Loki. So I was thinking right away, all right, Mobius is still alive too. So then when they showed us an after credit scene, what where Loki went, I believe that something similar might have happened to Mobius, but I'm not too sure because we're gonna jump all the way to the end just for a second. Um, the classic Loki tells the like main character, the OG Loki, he's like, "You're not dead yet. Like, not if you come with us." So I'm thinking, like, what does that mean? So Mobius might be in danger, but I don't think he's dead yet. Um, and I know there's the jokes that he's in Radiator Springs, but nah, I don't think he's dead. And like, there is something like a little clip of that shows him driving a car in like Egypt. I don't know if you've seen that,
I
but
haven't seen that, but I know we haven't got President Loki yet.
mhm. President
Uh,
Loki not yet, or like King Loki, even though that might have just been a flashback. I'm not sure.
Thomas
But
says, "Bet Mobius is on the planet full of Mobiuses." So a lot of people are saying that there's the rings on the table that Ravana had is another variant of Mobius. Like the Mobius
yep,
are like coming in and out, because he's good at his job. He's fantastic. So I think Mobius. It was so quick, that scene, so quick. Like I kind of like, really, that's how they're gonna do my boy
yep.
like that
Couldn't
quick.
even like
And
take one with him, you know. Couldn't even put up a
yeah,
fight. Just
couldn't
instantly
put up
died.
couldn't put up a fight. Didn't he have a plan coming out of there? Like, was it truly ruined because of all this? So I was just like baffled by how quick it was.
Yeah,
So that's what leads me to believe that either I don't think he's dead, but if he is, it's kind of like Loki. Even if he were to die, there's other variants that are going to come through. You know,
true.
maybe.
But I don't
Uh,
think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead. I don't think he's dead. But it
He
was
might
it was
die, but not like that.
it was a shock though. It was totally a
It was.
shock to
Yep.
see, and a really quick. It was so quick. It was hard to process because I was like, does that just really happen right there? So in my theory, in a lot of movies and TVs, if it's that quick and it's not that like if it's not properly done as I think it should have been properly done, then most likely this character's coming back.
Yeah.
So I could see him coming back for sure, or Loki maybe visiting him before he got taken by uh, the TVA. I don't know. Something's gonna. There's gonna be something that the final goodbyes between Loki and Mobius probably.
Hmm.
So let's move on because I'm surprised they don't just nail him right there, kill him right there, but they take him to the timekeepers,
Yeah.
and this
Real quick
happens
though.
all the time. Go
Real
for it.
quick. The soundtrack that played after Mobius died to when they're taking Loki and Sylvie to the Timekeepers, loved
Hmm.
it. That was epic. I was like that. I was telling my brother, "This is like epic. This feels epic." And
I couldn't remember that soundtrack.
it was just like the the thing that plays in the intro, but like it sounded more grand.
Really, I got to go back and check that out. Um,
Yeah.
so they take him to the timekeepers, and we finally see the timekeepers were shown a little bit in the beginning, which I love the lighting on that. I
Hmm.
love the smoky atmosphere, reminding you of a Disney attraction or some shit like that.
Hmm.
And then you get the two Lokis getting presented to the timekeepers, and right away I was like, these motherfuckers are not real. Like right away, you could tell. Okay, so some shit's gonna happen right now. Those guys are not real, or something's gonna happen where they're not the one that's holding all the power, basically, like
Hmm.
we've all been saying. And then Ravana, I believe, tries to wipe Lady Loki out, or tries to reverse her. I can't remember too much. And the caller is now controlled by B-15. B-15 like hatched the plan to like for Ravana not to really use her thing to on Lady Loki, and then a fight breaks loose. And this is my problem with the series so far. Albert, you know this. I just think the fight choreography is really bad. I
Hmm.
just think that, and I'm not the only one. I've seen videos that said, "Yeah, we don't care about the fight. Just move on to the storyline," because the fights are not that great. The fights feel like they're choreographed, not very well. It's just a lot of kind of walking, punching, but not really a beautiful artsy kind of fluent thing going on. I just
Hmm.
feel like the fight choreography so far has let me down. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier had way better fight choreography, and I didn't really care for that fight choreography because I thought that for that kind of series they should have been more grander. For this one, I don't hold it to that standard, but I think it should be a little bit better. But I guess, of course, the whole thing is it's not about the fight; it's about the story.
Hmm.
And then after that fight breaks loose, Sylvie gets one of those something in there, a weapon, and slices one of I think the middle one, the middle timekeeper's head
Yep.
off. And it's kind of like this. It reminded me a lot of Prometheus, and you just see the insides. It's an android basically. Ravana's down and out because her and Sylvie had a fight. Loki's about to tell Sylvie something, and then he gets hit with one of those little
Was he
time.
gonna say something or was he gonna do something?
I don't know. He said it looked like he was gonna say something.
All right.
To me, I got a lovey-dovey kind of thing going on,
Looked
or
like he was about
something.
to embrace her.
He's about to lock lips with himself.
Yep.
But he gets erased, and then Sylvie
It's
gets
crazy.
Ravana, and she's not gonna kill her. She wants to know the truth, of course, and she has all the answers. This is the main head of everything. So next episode or the finale, we're gonna get all of our answers pretty soon, or we're gonna get half answers maybe next episode. We'll probably focus more on Loki because Loki is now with other variants of Loki after he got like hit with one of those sticks. And you have Old Man Loki, like I said, who was played by that one actor, Grant. He had, which was funny, which I didn't expect, was he was in his classic comic book costume, very bright, very very costume-ish. Like, I love how Marvel has the balls to go through, because we saw that in WandaVision too with Wanda and Vision. They had their classic costumes, and you had Bolsterous, I believe, Loki, which is very different looking than actual Loki. You had
Hmm.
Kid Loki, and my favorite, you had Alligator Loki
Hmm.
with the fucking horns on.
But
Um,
I just want to know that Nexus event story.
well, there is a story in the comics where there's animals that are the Avengers.
All right.
And then, of course, Thor famously was a frog. Spider Ham, you got
All
him in
right.
Spider Verse. So there is a Nexus like that kind
So
of
Loki is
branch
an
line.
alligator.
So Loki's a fucking alligator, which I want to know if that alligator has to talk, right? It
You know
has
what
to be
I
like a
was
rocket thing.
thinking?
What's
I
up?
was thinking that Loki turned himself to an alligator, and then like for some reason he couldn't turn himself back, so he got
That
stuck in like
oh,
the
that'd be
alligator.
hilarious. That'd be
Yeah,
hilarious. I would love
that's what
that.
I was thinking.
Um. So okay, let's see.
um,
Basically, I covered a lot of things that were okay. So TVA, yeah, fight choreography. Okay, yeah, I pretty much covered like all I really want the beats I want to talk to. So, all right, let's get into it. So what'd you think? What'd you think about the final battle? What you or one of the final battles? What you think? What
um,
do you think about all this that we're
you see-
going into episode 4 or episode 5?
so
I'm sorry.
you know how you're saying that the fighting choreography, like it took you out a bit, or like you didn't really like it.
Yeah,
I was trying to focus more on what the heck the timekeepers were saying, and then when they were fighting, I was like, why aren't they doing anything? And by the time the fight was over, like, so I didn't really like pick up on that, but it's how I rewatched it, and I was like, oh yeah, this fighting sucks. Um, but
oh,
even after watching it 3 times, I still don't know what the timekeepers were saying. I had to turn up
you got to
the
put the
captions.
subtitles on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to put the captions on, the subtitles on, to, and then I was like, oh, all right. Um, and then So they're not what we thought we were. I mean, we never really thought that they were real. When
Mm.
the episode started, right before it shows us the Loki title card and it shows Ravonna walk in on and the timekeepers are there, I'm like, oh shit, they are real.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking, maybe not. Um,
A lot of people were pointing out it was like a Wizard of Oz kind of thing.
I never saw the movie,
What?
but
You never saw
yeah,
Wizard of Oz?
no, I never seen many classic movies. Before 2013, I never really watched movies.
Hey,
It was,
how about instead of albums, you do at the end
I
of the
don't,
year, you go every classic movie
I know I have
next year.
to.
Next year. Do you think that Ravonna, I believe I'm saying her name right? Do you think she is a like Mobius? She's a variant, and she doesn't know what like she's doing, or do you think she knows everything about the whole behind the scenes? Kang, maybe
Uh, I
whoever.
have two thoughts on that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So the first one, we see her when she goes to get Sylvie as a child, that she's like a guard, right? She
Yeah,
doesn't look like she's in power yet. She's just
yeah,
like another like trooper or whatever. So I was thinking, how does she get from there to where she is now? Because I don't think back then she knew the like what was really going on, but now she does. So I was thinking, if Kang is real, then maybe they did like fall in love or whatever, and then like he told her the truth and like she was okay with it because they're in love, right? So that's
yeah.
what I was thinking. How she went from just another Minuteman to like where she is now with the power. So that's why I think Kang might be true, just because it would make sense with her. But then the other thing I was thinking, we've seen that Loki can look very different, and the number one variant, the variant they get the most of, is Loki. I was like, she might be a Loki variant. Who knows?
Well, yeah, there's some theories that saying that you know what, the main villain might be another Loki.
And that's what I think.
That would
That's my
be nuts. That
that's
would be
my
nuts.
grand theory that I'm gonna tell you.
Where do I
Want to
have
just
it?
tell you right now?
Do it. Go for it.
All right. I do think, because look, with the other two shows, the villain was there from the beginning. So with this one, if it follows the same way, also with how the other one, like the villains were just other versions of themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would mean like this one, the villain's been there since the beginning. It's another version of Loki, which is like literally a variant of Loki. I think the villain is the Loki that beat the Avengers, the Loki that killed Thanos, like the Loki that wasn't destined to lose. He's the one that won. But because he's a narcissist, right? He's
Yeah,
like so full of himself.
and
He
Loki
wants
said it
all
himself in
the
this
other
episode.
Lokis to
Yeah.
lose. He wants to be the only Loki to win so that he's the number one Loki. So that's the sacred timeline, is the timeline where Loki always loses. And when it branches off, it's because it's branching off to a timeline where Loki might win, but he erases it so that he's the only one. And when Loki gets pruned, you see it's New York in the background. You see the Avengers Tower there.
Yes,
That's
that's
what the grand villain Loki did. He defeated the Avengers. He defeated New York. So he sends all of the loser Lokis there, so they can be like, so they can see what this evil Loki did that they couldn't, which was defeat the Avengers. So I'm not a big theory guy. You know, with WandaVision, I was like, nah, Mephisto,
yeah.
nah. Or Falcon and
Mephisto.
Winter
Yeah.
Soldier, I was like, nah, nothing crazy. But with this one, I think there's something crazy going on, and
Um.
I feel like it's some grand evil Loki.
So yeah, because when I first saw like all the different variants of Loki, well, obviously they had to have been sent there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they're stuck. I feel like they're stuck. Why are they all there? Let's have this grand mission. I'm gonna blow your mind even more. Okay,
Right?
so there's another theory. This one's pretty fucking mind blowing.
Let's hear it.
What if the TVA is actually trapped in the quantum realm?
Mm.
So, when Ant-Man goes into the quantum realm, he kind of sees like a city that looks very similar to the
I remember
TVA.
that. I remember that.
There is also the fact that time moves different in the TVA.
Yep.
Ant-Man is in the quantum realm, and he said he was there for 5 minutes, and when he gets out, it's been 5 years.
Yep, I remember that.
So time is different. Um, we're gonna have our villain Kang show up at Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania,
Hmm.
and TVA is very much hinting at Kang. So, what if a lot of this has to do with the Quantumania?
I can see it.
That's
I like that
nuts.
theory
That is
because
very
they
nuts.
haven't explained yet why magic doesn't work there, why the Infinity Stones won't work there, and
Yeah.
that might be it because it's the quantum realm, and you, you know the quantum anything is fucking crazy.
And Michelle Pfeiffer was in the quantum realm forever.
Hmm.
Yes. So I'm like, I was like, oh shit, you know what? This makes a lot of sense that the TVA would be in like the quantum realm and that we
Yeah.
would move into the quantum mania. Now, it's kind of weird though because then you got to think about multiverse, right? There's
Hmm.
multiverse in this. So how does that come to play? How does it like how does that affect the outside? It's
Maybe the
interesting.
quantum realm is like they have the quantum realm is what branches all the multiverses, all the universes.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not
Maybe
sure.
it's interesting because, Michelle Pfeiffer when she went in there, she came out with powers,
Yep,
you know.
that's true.
So that's going to be interesting too. How does that play out, We know that Captain Marvel got her powers from one of the stones. Like there's things
Hey,
that
what if Kang is the villain from the first Ant-Man?
from the first the bald head guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Obviously
know.
not, but it
I
would,
know.
yeah, that would be so. Ant Man's gonna play a big part, definitely. I think. I thought this episode was a lot better, a hell of a lot better. It's very interesting ideas that are being thrown, especially with the fake timekeepers. Is Kang really going to be coming through, or is it maybe another variation of Loki? Is it a villain that we haven't that was right there the whole time, kind of thing?
Mhm.
Maybe it's fucking Mobius, you know. But you're saying about like a He did state he's a narcissist. It could be a Loki. I'm very intrigued now that we are gonna. I am very intrigued that we are gonna be in an apocalyptic world where the Avengers didn't win, the nuke went off, Tony
Mhm.
failed, and Loki ruled. We
Mhm.
still need see. We still have scenes where Loki is at the throne. It looked like Asgard. It might be New York actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe that he moved that throne to like New York or somewhere else.
Yeah.
But also I was thinking it might have been a flashback, but I feel like they're not gonna show a flashback of that anymore. I feel like it would have happened.
And you know what? Who's to say that even though the main Avengers, are dead in this universe, it's kind of like Old Man Logan. There's still a few superheroes out there.
That would be crazy.
How crazy would that be?
Because I know in one of the animated Ultron movies, Hulk and Thor were like the only Avengers to survive, and they grew up old, and
Strongest
they,
Avengers.
yeah, the strongest Avengers, and they like grew up, and then they taught the young Avengers how to like defeat Ultron or whatever.
Yeah, the young Avengers. I saw that. I saw that. But
We might get something like that.
you know who survives that? Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. Old Man
Not.
Logan.
I don't think we're gonna get any X-Men in these
Nah.
coming episodes. But it's an interesting thought. If Loki wins, and if you are introduced, this makes me think like, how the hell are they gonna introduce Fantastic Four and the X-Men? If
Mhm.
X-Men are in this world already, which I don't think that's gonna happen, I think it's gonna be maybe a branch. Maybe the timelines get fucked up, like Spider-Man, because like some of those X-Men survive that. Some of those X-Men have those powers to survive that nuclear bomb,
Yeah, that's true.
or at least fight against Loki. It's gonna be interesting. Oh, how badass would a Sentinel be coming through? Oh, I would love that.
If they give Kang the Sentinels, that'd be crazy.
That'd be insane. Now, Kang, everything leads to Kang. All the tie-ins lead to Kang.
You think
But
Kang can be a Loki variant?
no,
All
I don't
right.
think they'll go that route. I think
All
that's a little bit too much. But I think
right.
that if it's not Kang, that you're on the money, that it could be a successful Loki.
Hmm. Also, like, I don't think all the variant Lokis. You think those are the only four variant Loki? Well, there's also the King one and the President one, right? So there has to be others,
Hmm.
but I don't think they'll all be on the same page. I feel like some of them are just like too crazy, and like we might see Lokis fighting other Lokis. They're not all going to be trying to help each other.
Well, yeah,
I
this is funny because this is like recently too. This is so much like Rick and Morty.
All right.
Rick is like Loki. Rick is
Mm-hmm.
such a narcissist, loves himself, believes he's the almighty Rick. And there's
Mm-hmm.
so many episodes where like the Ricks don't band together because they all fucking think they're the real Rick and they think they're the best Rick. So I could see Loki having that same issue. I mean, hell, in the beginning when he first meets Sylvie, they're not on the same page
That's true.
because Sylvie says, "You think you're
You're superior.
the superior one?"
Yep.
Yeah, and people would say the one that died was a superior one against Thanos just because
Yeah.
he helped his brother. You know, he redeemed himself. Blah blah blah, all that stuff. Um, I think these last two episodes are going to give us so much because they have to. Do you
They have
feel
to.
like it's being rushed? Do you feel like whatever comes our way that it's gonna be like a rush kind of conclusion, or do you think it's on a great pace right now?
I think every episode except for three has been a great pace. Three just slowed down a little bit, you know. But everything else I've liked the pace. I don't think it has to conclude. It could lead into the movies. That's how I felt WandaVision or Falcon the Winter Soldier would end, but those did pretty much conclude. This one, like I would love for the series to end, or it's like the multiverse just blows up and then it just ends, you know, like we don't know what happens next. Something like that. Not that exactly. Um, it doesn't have to conclude. I would want it to end where it doesn't conclude.
Mm.
Um, but I don't think they will, just because I'm always wrong. But yeah,
Well,
I think the pacing has been good.
my
They do have a
prediction,
lot to show though.
yeah, there's still a lot of questions.
And these last two episodes have been pretty short. I think last week's was like a little under 40 minutes. This week was 40 minutes. Like if you take off the recap and the Marvel intro
Intro,
and then
yeah,
also the ending
we
credits,
did have an end credit on this one that we haven't had previously.
we did. So I think the next two episodes will have them as well.
Yeah, the episode 3 was like really short, and I'm
Hmm.
surprised this one was a little not as long. I'm assuming the next two episodes, or at least the finale, will be longer.
Yeah, I think the next one at least like 45 minutes. The finale at least 50. That's what I'm thinking.
Now, my prediction was that Loki was going to take over the TVA and
Hmm.
maybe become work with them or what. Or I think he liked doing that kind of stuff. At this
That
point,
would
I
be
don't know
crazy.
what the fuck's going to happen now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I don't
This
know.
is the thing with Loki since like the first or since the second episode when they bombed the timeline. Even though that ended up being nothing, it was just like a diversion. Um,
It
I
might
remember
be a
thinking
things to come,
maybe.
foreshadowing.
Nah, I think they fixed all of it. I don't. I don't think we'll see that again. Sadly, um, I feel like that's over. But ever since like that episode ended, I remember thinking, I have no idea where this series is going. I can't tell you how like it'll be in 2 weeks. I can only predict how it'll be next week. And it's the same with this. Like even now that we've seen episode four, I can kind of predict how next week's will be, episode five, but I don't know how it'll end.
I,
It's been
I
crazy.
I think that you know what I think we're gonna have that multiverse war. I think that was foreshadowing, and shit's
Yeah.
about to hit the fan in
I
the season
want that to
finale.
happen.
I think shit is
Um,
definitely gonna hit the fan next in the season finale.
hmm.
I think
I
that's
think
where you
so.
get the madness from, man. I think that's where you said Kevin Feige says this is gonna change like the MCU, right? This is the
Hmm.
series you got to watch. The
Yeah, that's why
see
I don't think it wraps up. I feel like it can't wrap
no,
up.
it's gonna be open ended.
Hmm.
So I think we're gonna get this multiverse war This is how you're going to set up Doctor Strange. Well, it's kind of weird because Doctor Strange is supposed to come out already, right? It was supposed to come out before Loki,
They might have
before the
changed it though.
pandemics. I don't. It's definitely setting up Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and it could set up Doctor Strange. Maybe Doctor Strange is more reliant on Wanda. I'm not sure, but something's going to happen. We know that Doctor Strange is in Spider-Man.
Hmm.
Fucking Wong is in
Hmm.
Shang-Chi.
And I was just talking to my buddy about that. I was telling him like, oh well, I forget where Shang-Chi takes place, but um,
It's like
there's a
10
Sanctum
weeks, baby.
Sanctorum in Hong Kong, and maybe Shang-Chi takes place in Hong Kong or near Hong Kong.
If you
And
have
that's
sorcerers, that's a little not red flag, but that's a little bit suspicious,
of what?
that this could be connected.
Yeah, yeah.
Shang-Chi will be
Um,
his own movie,
I think
but we
so
might
too.
set up something bigger.
I think if anything, the after credit scene will
Yes,
like
yes.
it'll
That's
connect Shang-Chi to it,
for
but I don't
sure.
think the movie will be about like connecting it. Maybe
No, 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 no,
little
no, no.
hints here and
Yeah,
there. But
that's
yeah,
what I
the
meant.
after
Like the
credit
after
scene,
credits. Yeah.
that how like Ant-Man and the Wasp, that movie was like its own thing, right? But the after credit scene, they get dusted, and that's how it connects to like Endgame
That
or Infinity
that's
War.
more of a movie that I think will present. I mean, Kang is the villain in that movie, so that will
Hmm.
present more to what's going to happen in Loki. Probably. The thing is, where's Loki going to be? That's what I want to know.
Maybe his story will wrap up in the series, but I don't know. It can't because there's all these other Lokis running
There's all
around.
these other Lokis.
Yeah,
Well,
one
maybe he gets
Loki, one
maybe he
Loki
gets
is
a
gonna
band.
continue being in the movies,
Maybe he does
but
get that band of Lokis, together, and they kind of like go around multiverses. His job's to fix them. I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna have to see. It was a
it's
great episode
interesting.
to kind of like think about and say, oh, there was a little bit of Easter eggs here and there. We kind of don't know where this might be going now,
Uh
which
huh.
is good, which is great.
Well,
I don't want to know.
you want me to fuel your Kang theory?
Yeah,
Um, you know how I told you there's like a little clip out there of Mobius driving a car, right? In like Egypt.
yeah.
Yeah. So you see him driving a car.
In
I forget
Egypt.
what he's saying. It looks like Egypt. There's a pyramid and there's a sphinx, right? In the comic books, Kang, his spaceship is a flying sphinx.
Well, he's
So
known as Rama Tut or something like
yeah,
that.
something
Yeah.
like that. So
So Kang's
like,
coming, baby.
is that his spaceship? I don't know.
Kang's coming. I'm
But
gonna have to see that clip.
there's also like in the trailer you see there's like a UFO like crash into the it's all the same. It all looks like in the after credits scene, you know how everything looks like gray, right? Like
Yeah.
cloudy and gray and dark. Like these clips, they all look like they're in the same planet or dimension or whatever. Um,
So Mobius is alive.
Mobius is alive, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Um, I don't know if that clip was like official or leaked, but it's definitely him driving the car, and it's definitely they're
He's
like
alive.
unless it's just someone that looks a lot like him. But I'm gonna find it and I'll send it to you, and
Okay.
we'll talk about it. But yeah, I think that's next week. I really don't know what's like. Damn, there's 2 episodes left, but it's crazy. It can go any way. It really
I,
can.
okay. Let me ask you this then, before we get out of here. At this point on these episodes, do you feel that Loki is below or higher than the previous Marvel series we've seen in WandaVision and the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I'm sorry, my mom was texting me and I was reading it.
Oh,
Can you
you're good.
repeat that?
So, do you believe that at this point of episodes that we've gotten Loki,
Hmm.
comparing it to the other Marvel series, do you rank it a little bit higher so far, or medium, or lower?
So the Falcon Winter Soldier is down here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so it's really between WandaVision and Loki. I would say WandaVision up to like episode 6 or even 7. Yeah, so WandaVision up to episode 7, and then Loki episodes 1 through 4. I like Loki episode 1 through 4 more than WandaVision episodes 1 through 7.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the end of Loki yet, so I'm not gonna take account the end of WandaVision. But
Yeah.
if I'm comparing all of WandaVision to what I've seen in Loki so far, I do like WandaVision more, just because episode 7, that is my favorite episode of the television series, I believe. 5 is up there too, but 7 is just like when they go and they show you the bombing. That seems just it was too much emotionally for me, right? And I
Yeah.
loved it. And then it shows like she's always had these powers, and then when she sees the vision of the Scarlet Witch, it was just like the imagery and the story. I loved it. And then how it ended when they're like, "Oh, that makes you the Scarlet Witch." Bro, I was so hyped, and
And then the
I
finale
haven't
happened.
been that hyped since the when this episode ended, when it showed the other Lokis. That shit had me hyped too. But
The
now
alligator alone.
I didn't even notice the alligator until I rewinded it and paused it on there, just because I was like, "What? Kid Loki, old Loki, Black Loki?" And then when I
Hmm.
paused it, Lizard Loki.
Well,
Um,
the bolsterous Loki, aka Black Loki, he had a hammer.
He did.
It's
The
a
actor
different hammer,
actually
though.
just, yeah, the actor just tweeted a picture saying like, "Oh, it's nice to be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe." You
Yeah.
can see the hammer a little better. Yeah, it's not Mjolnir, but it
No.
can. I think it is forged in what was it called? Nivellier. I don't know that
Yeah.
place that they go to in Infinity War to make Stormbreaker. I
Oh,
do
okay.
think
Yeah.
it's made out of that same material, but it's not Mjolnir.
Well,
Um,
I can't wait to see all these Lokis interact to each
I
other.
can't wait to see. Look, the fight scenes so far have not been that great, but I hope it's because they saved the budget and all the
Best for last.
choreography for these
Yes.
next couple
Yes.
fights.
How
Because
badass would it see like the all these variants of Lokis do battle?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, so they can't fuck it up. They can't fuck it up.
So far, their season finales have been duds, in my opinion. So we'll see if like Loki could really. I think it'll be a home run. I think if it's setting up all these other movies and all this craziness, it'll be a home run. We're gonna end it
So
here.
5 might be the best one then next week.
Oh, I can't wait for next week. Can't
Mhm.
wait. We're gonna end it here. We kind of broke it down a little bit. I think there's gonna be more to it next week, so probably a longer stream because I feel like we're gonna get bananas all over the place on the next episode. I want to thank you guys who joined us on the chat. Paul, Thomas, Fast 9 review
Wait,
soon.
we didn't talk about one thing.
Oh, which one is that?
Maybe we did, but you remember when they spike the Nexus event spikes? Why? Because they were on the world that was going to end. No matter what they do, it shouldn't affect the timeline.
I
Yet
think I
they
think
were.
we spoke a little bit. I mean, I think
We
it's
did.
because
We just mentioned it, but like, what do you think was happening? Because when that happened, I thought they were gonna like combine into one Loki or something crazy, right?
it's not Dragon Ball, dude.
I know. I thought that's what was happening,
I
and then I was
honestly
like,
think it's just simply either romanticness going on or those Lokis are just not supposed to be there.
but like, if the world was gonna get blown up, it wouldn't have mattered. So it had to be something big.
Well,
So,
it's kind of the thing like those Lokis are not supposed to. Their demise is not supposed to happen there, right?
but they're variants. They don't belong in that timeline. So it doesn't matter where they die.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I
So
honestly don't know about that one.
I
I just
feel
thought
like
because they're about to get it on.
maybe I don't know. Well, that's
Because
why I
Mobius
feel like
says that. Mobius
that's what's
says
gonna
that.
break the multiverse. That's what's gonna break the timeline. Is the Loki's that spike is gonna happen again? I don't think they would bring it up and then just not show it again.
No, no, no.
They're,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The multiverse wars is gonna happen somehow, some way. Some shit's going down.
but I
For
think it's
sure.
gonna be because of Sylvie and Loki. Like whatever was happening on the planet is it's gonna come up again.
Well, Sylvie, there has to be a huge clue with that, with her getting captured so young.
That's true. That's true.
So whatever that is, and what they did or tried to do, that's going to be the key of why maybe it rose up like that, or why
Oh
we're going to get
man,
just multiverses of madness.
I just thought a horrible thought.
Well, you got to
Um,
say it after you say it.
I was gonna say Loki orgy.
Oh no, God, please no. This isn't the boys.
I
This
never. I need to watch that show still.
Oh God, the next season of The Boys is gonna blow everybody's mind. You're gonna hear people talking about that one.
I need to
Um,
catch up so we can talk about that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to like. That's
mention
what
it.
I've been thinking about. Was like that Nexus spike because they said they've never seen anything like that before. It spike up that like
We're
this.
definitely gonna get more answers next episode. We have
Hmm.
to.
Yeah, we have to. They're not gonna do a like not answer anything and then try to answer everything at the end. They can't do
WandaVision.
that. I know for real.
So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back. I'm back in town. Had my little vacation. Now we're back to reviewing Loki episodes. The Fast Nine, I gotta watch it. I really don't want to, honestly. I'm not a fan of the latest Fast and Furious movies, but I'll watch it. And then Black Widow, man. Black Widow next week. You'll be watching in glorious IMAX.
Hmm.
So that's gonna happen. I'll be watching it, of course. Maybe we'll break down and review it. How's that sound, Albert?
Yeah, I'm down.
And then yeah, we have more content coming in on this channel, so just stay tuned. I got Vegas video I'll be putting out on my trip. I went to Raider Stadium. It was awesome. I went to Taco Bell Cantina. It was awesome.
Jealous.
And then I got a couple other videos in the works too. So check it out. Check out my videos I have right now. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Albert for joining me once again. Thank you, Albert.
You're welcome. By next week, I should have my little Loki headpiece, and I'll be wearing that.
Oh hell
To...
yeah! Let's do it. All right, guys. Well, you guys have a good rest of your week, and I look forward to hearing you guys' comments. Push the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm Dan Manicky Daniel's son. I'm out of here.